Putting a cushion or blanket under your hips for support, if that feels better. Happy New Year to everyone as we start this first Saturday of January of 2021. Seems a little crazy that we actually got here, and we'll just try to take each day as it comes without a whole lot of expectations, since 2020 certainly showed us that we can't control any of that. So. All right, let's start with rubbing the palms of our hands together. Bringing focus and energy into the palms. And take the fingertips and gently brush them across the forehead, temples, and cheeks. Brushing away any worries or expectations. Bring the fingertips to the eyes, palms to the cheeks, turning your attention inward. And take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. When you're ready, you can float your hands down, either keeping your eyes closed or just gently gazing downward. Lift your heart with each inhaling breath, allowing the shoulders to fall back and down. With each exhale, sitting bones sinking toward the earth. We'll tune in with 3 ohms. Feel free to join in or just absorb the vibration. Take another full breath in. Take a moment to absorb the vibrations of the mantra as it connects us all as one. Allow yourself to settle here this Saturday morning. And set an intention for your practice. Something you'd like to nurture or cultivate within yourself. I saw a Thich Nhat Hanh quote this week that said, "Each day is an opportunity for a new beginning." And as we bring that into our yoga practice, each practice is an opportunity for a new beginning. Your next inhaling breath, let it bring you here to this room, to this moment. And with your exhale, release anything not needed for your practice today. With your next inhaling breath, allow the belly to soften and expand. And as you exhale, draw the belly toward the back. Follow your body's rhythm, expanding on the inhale, contracting on the exhale. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly and open the ribs, reaching them out to the sides. And as you exhale, contract the belly and relax the ribs. Follow your body's rhythm. And with your next inhaling breath, expand the belly, open the ribs, and lift the chest, creating space for your heart. And as you exhale, contract, relax, and lower. Continue this full deep breath, expanding your lungs in all directions with each inhale. Completely releasing the breath with each exhale. As you continue this full deep breath, gently begin to lengthen the exhale, allowing it to slow down and become longer than the inhale. Allowing the exhale to gently seep out, releasing anything not needed, waiting patiently for the end of the breath, and then refilling the lungs with new, fresh oxygen, breathing in that life force energy, gently releasing the old, the air that's already been used, recycling it to the earth. With each long exhale, notice if you can release a little tension in the neck or shoulders, or anywhere else in the body you may be feeling tightness or tension. Take one more full, complete breath. And when you reach the end of your exhale, gently return to your natural breath. Noticing any changes you feel in your mind or body. Remembering that our breath is always with us to help find those moments of peace. Now bring your awareness to the tips of your right hand, and allow the tips of the thumb and pointer finger to come together. Now bring those fingertips to your heart center. Turning your attention deeper inward towards your heart. Looking within for your inner light and your inner joy. When you find that connection with the light within you, allow its warm glow to flow on the breath throughout your entire body. As you find that connection with your inner joy, allow it to radiate up onto your face in a smile. And breathe it out into the space around you. As we continue our practice, allow your light and joy to flow through each breath and movement, honoring all that you are in each moment. When you're ready, you can float your hand down. Gently open your eyes. If you'd like to switch your legs or change positions, please go ahead and do that. And with your next inhaling breath, let's scrunch the shoulders up by our ears. Exhale, pressing the shoulders back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Let's bring the hands in front of the chest, palms facing down. Tucking the shoulder blades, gently squeezing them, muscles around them, holding them in place, strengthening those muscles around the scapula. Notice if one side might feel looser than the other. Engage those muscles a little bit more. It's common for our dominant hand, for that shoulder to feel a little looser, as we often are spending more time pulling that forward. And we'll bring the elbows back toward each other, lift the heart a little more, gently squeezing the center of the shoulder blades toward each other. Lift the heart. Bring out any tension in the back. And open wide, turning the palms up. Lift the heart a little more if that feels okay. Draw the shoulder blades down. drawing the lower corners of the shoulder blades toward each other. If it feels okay, you can flex the wrists, pressing through the palms. Breathing into the heart. And let's bring the arms in front, crossing the right over the left, bending at the elbows, hands back to back or left hand around the right wrist. Lifting the elbows to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe into the upper back. Gently pressing the elbows forward. If it feels okay, you can begin to lower and lift the elbows, extending that stretch around the shoulders. With your next inhale, if it feels okay, gently lift the elbows a little higher, arching. And as you exhale, holding forward, letting the weight of the arms drop down, being careful of your low back if it's feeling stiff this morning. Breathe into the upper back, soften the back of the neck. And with your next inhale, come back to center. We'll unwrap the arms, but let's keep the the left hand on the right upper arm. Extending that right arm out, spread the fingers wide. Just gently pull the arm toward the body as much as feels okay, gently stretching around the shoulder. And then we'll release and open wide, pressing through the palms. And bringing the arms in front, we'll cross the left over the right. Bending at the elbows, hands back to back or right hand around the left wrist. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing into the upper back. Pressing the elbows forward. If it feels okay, you can begin lowering and lifting the elbows. And with your next inhale, if it feels okay, lift the elbows a little higher, gently arching. And as you exhale, gently folding forward, letting the weight of the arms drop down. Breathe into the upper back, being careful with your low back. Soften the back of the neck. And with the next inhale, come back to the center. We'll release the hands, bringing that right hand to the left shoulder or upper arm, reaching the left arm across, spreading those fingers wide. Just gently drawing the arm toward the body. And then we'll release. Let's bring the arms out to the side, tucking the shoulders. We'll make some circles with the wrists. And the hands can be open or in a closed fist. You can reverse those circles. And then we'll bring the hands to the heart. Interlace the fingers, pressing the palms out in front. Roll the shoulders forward, draw out the chin, round the spine. With your next inhale, lift the palms up over the head, gently arching. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale. This time leave the palms up and gently drop the chin. Soften the elbows, rolling the shoulders back toward each other. Gently squeezing the upper corners of the shoulder blades toward each other, wringing out the trapezius muscle. Softening through the back of the neck and the jaw. And if it feels okay, you could press a little higher through the palms. Listen to the body. With your next inhale, lift the chin. And as you exhale, gently twist to the right, floating your hands down, left hand to the knee, right hand behind the right hip. Lift the heart with your inhale, gently twisting through the exhale, head comes around last. Lifting your heart with each inhale, twisting through the ribs with the exhale. Hold and breathe. If it feels okay, you can gently turn your chin over the left shoulder. And gently come back to the right. With your next inhale, lift the right arm up by your ear. And as you exhale, reach across the body, dropping the right hip toward the mat, lifting the heart, reaching the fingertips across the sky. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. And exhale back to the center. Take a breath in and out. We'll interlace the fingers. Inhale the palms up over the head. Exhale, twisting to the left. And float the hands down. Right hand to the knee, left hand behind the hip. Inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, gently twisting through the ribs. Head comes around last. Hold and breathe. Finding that edge between flexibility and inflexibility. If it feels okay, you could turn your chin over the right shoulder. And bringing the chin back toward the left shoulder. With your next inhaling breath, lift the left arm up by the ear. And as you exhale, reach across the body. Dropping the left hip, lifting the heart. Chin is away from the chest as the fingertips reach across the ceiling. Breathing into the left side of the body. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. And exhale, come back to the center. the feet. Lift the spine tall, shoulders back and down. Knees are slightly soft. And then engage the quadriceps, drawing the kneecaps up. And if it feels okay, lifting the heels gently off the floor. Staff pose. Hands can be on the thighs or on the floor. Lifting the heart, shoulders are softened. Pressing actively through the heels. Toes reaching up toward the ceiling. Notice if your inner or outer quads are doing more work and try to even that out. And then gently release. We'll inhale, lifting the arms up over the head. Exhale, soften, gently folding. Hands on the thighs, the shins, floor, or feet. With your next inhale, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, soften through the low back and the back of the leg. Lengthening and softening through the breath. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. We'll bring the hands a few inches behind the hips, fingertips facing the hips. Work with inclined plane or reverse table. For inclined plane, lifting both hips with the legs extended out straight. And for reverse table, bending the knees, bringing the feet hip width apart, and lifting the hips here. So whichever version feels comfortable for you in this moment, we'll bend those elbows nice and deep, roll the shoulders back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And with your next inhale, lift the hips high. Exhale, gently lower and hover if that feels okay. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lower and hover if it feels okay. Inhale, lifting. Hold and breathe, or continue coming up and down, or rest depending on what you need today. Elbows stay slightly bent, hips press high, head extends out from the spine. And then we'll gently lower down and shake out those wrists. Let's come to the center of the mat. We'll round the spine and gently roll back. Lengthening through the spine, extending the legs out. Tuck your shoulders under. Just take a couple of breaths. Gently scanning up the body, noticing any parts that feel tired, achy, or sore. Honoring yourself and your body by listening to its messages. Pushing yourself to your edge, but not beyond it. And remembering that each time you do yoga, your body is a little bit different. Let's bend the right leg, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Shoulders tuck under, neck is nice and long. Soften around the hip. Keeping the left hand on the knee, allow the right arm to fall out to the side, palm facing down. And as you exhale, gently twist across the body. Right hip comes off of the mat, but comes across toward the floor. Vision toward the right arm as much as feels okay for your neck. Release the muscles around the hip. And allow the spine to sink into the twist. With your next inhale, come back to the center. Extending your leg up toward the sky, take hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. As you exhale, toes reach toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, pressing through the heel. Follow your breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. Now begin to make slow, gentle circles with your ankle, stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction. And reverse the circles. Reaching through the heel. Think about pressing the sitting bones toward the wall in front of you, lengthening through the back as you reach up through the heel. And then gently arching the low back, letting the sitting bones drop down toward the mat. Now tucking the pelvis, drawing the leg toward the torso just as far as feels okay, continuing to reach the heel. Belly muscles draw down toward the back. Stay here, or with your next exhaling breath, lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lowering the head and chest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe, or continue to come up and down, or rest. Reaching through the heel, belly muscles are strong, neck is nice and long. You can stay here or flex the left foot, gently lifting the leg off of the floor. And you can also release the hands alongside the leg if that feels okay. And gently lower the left leg. Inhale, lowering the head and chest. And as you exhale, slowly lower the right leg. Once you reach the floor, take a deep breath in and out. Then let's bend the left leg, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Shoulders tuck under, neck is nice and long. Soften around the hip. Keep the right hand on the knee, allowing the left arm to fall out to the side, palm facing down. As you exhale, gently twist over the right side of the body. Left hip comes off of the mat, foot comes across toward the floor. Vision toward the left arm as much as feels okay for your neck. Release the muscles around the hip, easing the spine into the twist. Your next inhale, come back to center. Extending the leg up toward the sky, take hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. As you exhale, toes reach toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, pressing through the heel. Follow your breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. Now begin to make slow, gentle circles with your ankle, stretching the foot as far as you can go in each direction. And reverse the circles. And reaching through the heel, gently pressing the sitting bones toward the wall away from you. Then gently arching the low back, letting the sitting bones drop down as you flex the heel, reaching up through the heel. And then tucking the pelvis, drawing the belly muscles down, and drawing the leg toward the torso just as far as feels okay. Lengthening through the heel, belly muscles are strong. Stay here, or with your next exhaling breath, lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lowering the head and chest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. Reaching through the heel, belly strong, neck is nice and long. Stay here, or if you would like, you can flex the right foot, gently lifting it off of the floor. And again, you can either continue to hold the leg or release the hands. Lower the right leg. Inhale, lowering the head and chest. And exhale, slowly lowering the leg. Once you reach the floor, take a deep breath in and out. Let's place the feet on the floor, about hip width apart, and walking them as close toward the hips as feels comfortable. Tucking the shoulders under, arms alongside the body. Lifting the toes, spreading them wide as you lower them down, creating one end of the bridge. Pressing the shoulders into the mat to create your other end. And with your next inhaling breath, let's scoop the pelvis. Roll the spine up one vertebrae at a time, lifting the hips high. As you come to your exhale, slowly rolling the vertebrae down from the top of the spine to the base. Inhale, scoop and lift. Rolling the spine up, keeping the knees parallel to each other and the vision toward the sky. Exhale, gently rolling down. Inhale, scoop and lift. This time, you can either continue coming up and down or hold. If you're holding, you can gently press back, press into the feet, pressing back onto the shoulders. Chin is gently lifted away from the chest. You can keep the arms where they are, or if you'd like, you can roll the shoulders under, interlacing the fingers, pressing the palms together, and then gently extending the arms as much as feels okay for your elbows and shoulders. You can also keep those elbows bent if that feels better. Neck is nice and long, hips are reaching high. Chin gently away from the chest. Breathing into the heart. Strengthening through the back. And gently roll the shoulders out if you have them tucked under. Release the hands. And gently roll the spine down. Take a breath in and out. Another breath in. With your exhale, gently tuck the pelvis, pressing the low back into the mat. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, release. And let the breath go. Let's cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Coming into cross forward. You can gently press that right knee out to the side. Or if it feels okay, you can lift the left foot off of the floor. Taking hold behind the hamstrings or over the top of the shin. Flexing the right foot as you draw the left knee toward the body just as far as feels okay. Lengthening through the neck, shoulders are tucked under. Send the breath to the right hip. Releasing any worries or frustrations stuck in the hip. Allowing them to float away on the breath. And then gently release. We'll switch legs. Right foot on the floor, left ankle crosses over the right thigh. Again, you can gently press the left knee out if that feels comfortable. Or lift the right foot off the floor, taking hold behind the hamstrings or over the top of the shin. Flexing the left foot as you draw the right knee toward the body just as far as is okay. Lengthening through the spine, shoulders tuck under. Send the breath to the left hip. Releasing any anger or anxiety stuck in the hip. Allowing it to float away on the breath. And then we'll release. Bring both feet to the floor. And then bringing both knees over the torso, gently hugging them in. Breathing into the low belly and Apanasana. And slipping the hands underneath the knees. Or excuse me, you can either roll to your side, pressing up with your hands, or slip the hands underneath the knees, kicking the feet over the head. and gently rocking it. Let's come forward onto our hands and knees. We'll bring our hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. If you'd like some extra padding under your knees, please add that with a blanket. Softening the elbows so the inner elbows are facing each other. Head extends out from the spine. Shoulders tuck back and down. Belly muscles are drawn up. Strong table pose. Take a breath in and out. With your next inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the spine, lift the chin. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, drop the chin. Inhale, lifting, spine follows. Exhale, rounding. Follow your breath. And with your next inhale, we'll come back to table pose. Let's inhale, sweeping the right arm up to the side gently. And as you exhale, we'll bring it down and thread the needle underneath that left arm, bringing the right shoulder and the right side of the head to the mat. And then think about kind of rooting the shoulder into the mat and then pulling back away from it, creating some space between the shoulder joint and the scapula, stretching those muscles there. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, you could sweep the left arm up. You can bring the back of the left hand to the right hip, or you could drop the left arm over the left ear, bringing the fingertips to the mat. Really focusing on pulling back through that shoulder, stretching those muscles around the scapula. And bringing the left hand back to the mat, we'll press into the floor, sweep that right arm up, and then bring the right hand back to the mat. Take a breath in and out. With your next inhale, sweeping that left arm up. Exhale, bringing it underneath the right arm, bringing the left shoulder and the left side of the head to the mat. Again, pressing the shoulder into the mat and pulling back away from it, creating some traction. You can stay here or sweep the right arm up, bring the back of the right hand to the left hip, or bring the right arm over the ear, fingertips to the mat. Bringing the right hand back to the mat, press into the palm and sweep the left arm up, and then float the left hand back down to the mat. Let's walk the hands out, and we're going to come into reclined puppy. And I want you to think about bringing the heart toward the mat as much as feels okay. You can rest either your chin or your forehead on the mat. Then we'll spread the fingers wide and come up onto the fingertips. Letting the shoulder blades kind of squeeze up toward each other. letting the heart come toward the mat. Gently pulling away with the fingertips. Then bringing the palms back to the mat. We'll walk the hands back. Having them a few inches ahead of just under the shoulders. I don't know if that made any sense, but not right under the shoulders, a few inches away from there. We'll tuck the toes under, press the hips up and back into downward dog. Softening the knees, pressing back through the hips. Shoulder blades roll back toward each other. Head falls between the hands with the chin gently away from the chest. As it feels okay, you can gently let the heels float toward the mat. Lifting the hips up toward the sky, rooting through the feet and the hands. And then let's gently drop the knees back down. And we'll come up to a kneeling position. Let's work a little bit with camel. And then, so for this one, I usually, when I'm not on carpet, I usually need something underneath my knees. So a little extra padding might be helpful. Also some blocks by your feet if you need that support for more extension. So we want our knees stacked underneath the hips. And we'll place the hands on the low back to start. Lengthening the spine, roll those shoulders back. With your next inhale, pressing into the knees, lifting up and back. Exhale, coming up tall. Inhale, lifting up and back as though you're reaching over something. Exhale, coming up tall. You can continue working with that, or if you would like to, either using the blocks or your heels with your feet flat down or toes tucked under. You can start with one arm reaching back and then the other. So playing with that flexibility and extension today. And if that's feeling comfortable, you can move to having both hands. So you can bring one hand and then the other to the heels or onto blocks. And the heels can or the feet can also be flat and you can come onto the heels here. So whichever version feels best for you today. If you're holding here in the full camel, you can press into the knees. Lift through the heart, shoulders tucked back and down. Pressing the hips gently forward. Holding as long as feels comfortable. And when you're ready, using one arm to lift you up, or really the other arm up, and then coming into child's pose or into reclined puppy. Forehead comes to the mat or onto a block or stacked fist, rounding the spine. You can have the arms alongside the body or extended out in front, whatever feels best for you right now. Breathe into the spine, creating space between the vertebrae. Here we're going to work a little with rabbit. So you can take hold of the heels with the hands. And what we're going to do is bring the top of the head to the mat and lift the hips up. So the hands will stay holding on. If that's not accessible, you can also use a strap to hold on through the heels. What we want to do is gently have some light pressure on the top of the head, not too much so we don't want to strain the neck. But we want to be using that grasp of the back of the heels to be pulling and opening through this upper back here. That's the sensation you want to work toward. So it's giving us some of the same benefits as a headstand, while we're also opening through the upper back. One more breath. And we'll gently release. Let's roll the spine up. We'll tuck the toes under, stretching the bottom of the feet. You can sit back onto the heels if that feels okay. You can be in kneeling, kind of leaning back, or have the hands on the mat, pressing back here. Whatever feels most accessible today. And when you're ready, we'll shift onto the soles of our feet. If you'd like a block underneath your hands, go ahead and have that. And let's bring the feet about hip width apart. Softening the knees. Lengthening through the spine. Press actively into the feet. And try to release the back of the neck. Once more, pressing into the feet. With your next inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Palms together over the head. And as you exhale, hands to the heart. Let's work with Vrtsasana tree pose today for our balance. It's always my go-to pose for a little stability and balance when things are changing in the world. And as we start this new year, I think a good little tree pose is a great way to start it. So finding our balance on both feet. If you would like to use the wall for support, have your back to the wall. Let's lengthen the spine tall, shoulders back and down, belly strong, knees soft. Lift the toes and spread them wide as you lower them down. We'll shift the weight to the left leg, turning the right knee out to the side and find a focus spot for your gaze. You can stay here, lifting the toes, working on balance. Or if it feels okay, you could bring the foot to the calf or up into the groin, just not directly on the knee. Pressing the foot into the thigh. When you find your steady place, bring your hands to the heart. Rooting down through the sole of the foot, lifting up out of that left hip slightly, lengthening through the crown of the head. Notice your shoulders. If they've scrunched up, let them soften down. Gently pressing that right knee out to the side. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, bring your arms up, palms together or apart, growing those branches. Connecting to the earth and the sky, finding your center. And when you're ready, bringing your hands back to the heart. And gently lowering that right leg down, shake out the left. Finding our balance on both feet again. Spine tall, shoulders back and down, belly strong, knees soft. Lift the toes and spread them wide as you lower them down. Shifting our weight to the right leg, turning the left knee out to the side and finding a focus spot for our gaze. Again, you can work on balance by lifting the toes, bring the foot to the calf, or bringing the foot in toward the groin. Pressing the foot and leg against each other gently. When you find your steady place, bring your hands to the heart. Gently pressing the left knee out to the side. Rooting into the foot, lifting up out of the hip, reaching through the crown of the head. Stay here, or if it feels okay, extend the arms up, palms together or apart. Softening the shoulders, catching the wiggles as they come. And when you're ready, bringing the hands back to the heart and gently lowering the leg down. We'll shake out that right leg. Pardon me. Let's bring our legs nice and wide. Let's turn the right foot toward the short end of the mat, dropping the left heel back, turning the hips toward the long end of the mat. We'll inhale the arms out at shoulder height, and exhale, bend the right leg, coming into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, working those toes out a little further if you need to, making sure the knee is stacked over the ankle and not going past the toes. Press into both feet and turn your vision over your right hand. Lift the heart and soften the shoulders. Feel your feet connected to the earth, through your house, down into the ground, and draw up whatever you need from the earth in this moment. Strength, courage, patience, energy, or whatever else you need. Breathe it up through the legs, into your heart. And anything that overflows, you can allow to flow out on the breath, into the world. With your next inhaling breath, gently straighten the front leg. And as you exhale, press the left hip out behind you, reach the right arm across the room, coming into Trikonasana, dropping that right arm by the leg. Left arm comes up toward the sky or to the low back, depending on how your shoulders are feeling today. Rotating the torso to face the wall. Lengthen through the spine. Make sure the thigh muscles of that left leg are engaged, drawing that kneecap up. Softening through the hamstrings of the right leg. And with your next inhale, press into the feet, lifting up tall. And exhale, float the hands down. Let's shift our feet. So the left foot points toward the short end of the mat. Right heel drops back at a 45-degree angle, hips facing the long end of the mat. Inhale the arms out at shoulder height. Exhale, bending that left leg. Knee stacks over the ankle, working those toes out a little more if you need to. Pressing into both heels. Vision over the left hand. Lift the heart and soften the shoulders. Again, feeling the feet connected to the earth, grounding down through the floor, through your house, to the earth. Envision roots growing out of your feet, helping you feel grounded, connected, and drawing up that strength and energy and whatever else you need from the earth through those roots. This time, as you draw it up through the legs into your heart, if there's any overflowing, send it out into the world to someone you know or a group of people you know who are in need. Sending that energy and compassion through the breath. With your next inhale, let's straighten the front leg. Exhale, right hip presses out behind you, reaching that left arm across the room, and then floating the left arm down toward the leg into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Right arm floats up toward the sky or onto the low back. Keeping both legs strong and active, turning the torso to face the wall. Sorry. My words want to come out in different ways today. Lengthening through the spine, softening through the hamstrings of the left leg. And with your next inhale, lift up tall and float the hands down. We'll bring both feet to face the long end of the mat. Let's inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, swan dive, hips out behind us. And float the hands down underneath the shoulders onto the floor or block. If you'd like to walk the feet out a little further, please feel free to do that. Soften the knees, press into the feet, lifting the hips high, lengthening through the spine. If it feels okay, you can lower the head and chest toward the floor, keeping the spine nice and long. If you find the spine rounding, just gently lift the chin. Let's walk the hands over toward the right leg. Hands on the floor, block or leg. Turning the torso to face the thigh, will lengthen down over the leg. Pressing into the right foot, lifting up through the right hip. And gently walking back to the center and over to the left. Hands on the floor, block or leg. Turning the torso to face the thigh, lengthening down over the leg. Pressing into the left foot, lifting up through the left hip. And coming back to the center, lengthening through the spine, pressing back through both hips. Let's walk the feet closer toward each other, stopping just outside of hip width apart. Pressing into the feet, hips reaching high. And then bending the knees, we'll lower into Malasana squat. If you'd like to use that block, bring it in the center behind the heels. You can work with the high Malasana, or gently lowering the hips down to the block or down by the heels, or coming all the way to the mat, if that feels better today. Walking the feet a little further out. pressing the elbows or upper arms into the thighs or knees. Lengthening through the spine, tailbone reaching down. Noticing where you can let go. And then gently lowering the rest of the way down, if you are not already. We'll come back to cross-legged. Lengthening up through the crown of the head, shoulders back and down. Extend up one more time with your inhale. And as you exhale, let's drop the right ear over the right shoulder. Tucking that right shoulder back and down. Breathing into the left side of the neck. If it feels okay, you can bring that left arm across the low back. And if you like, you can sweep the right arm out and over, resting the hand onto the left side of the head. You don't want to pull down, but just that extra weight can add a little more stretch if that feels okay for you today. And with your next inhale, release both arms, bringing the head back to the center. And as you exhale, left ear drops over the left shoulder, tucking the left shoulder back and down. Breathing into the right side of the neck. Heart stays lifted even though the head is tilted. Again, if it feels okay, the right arm can come across the low back. Left arm can extend out and then bend, floating the hand onto the right side of the head. Gently breathing into the right side of the neck. Releasing anything stuck in there. With your next inhale, release the hands, coming back to the center. Exhale, turn the chin over the right shoulder. Hold and breathe. Shoulders are backing down, heart is lifted. With your next inhale, come back to the center. And as you exhale, turn the chin over the left shoulder. Hold and breathe. Shoulders are back and down, heart is lifted. With your next inhale, come back to center. And let the breath go. And with your next inhale, we're going to tuck the chin down and then sweep it out, like making a big circle coming forward and then back. Follow your breath, just reaching that like a big gooseneck. Lengthening the neck. And then we're going to reverse that. We'll start at the top and reach out and then down, rolling it back in. Stretching those vertebrae through the neck, nice and long. Coming back to center. And let's turn to the center of the mat. And if you want to put socks back on or anything, please go ahead and do that. Let's round the spine, rolling onto the back, and then extend the legs up. You can rock your hands or a block underneath the hips, supporting the legs for a moment. Breathing into the belly. Neck is nice and long. Ankles and knees are relaxed. And then we'll bend the knees, rocking the hands out from underneath the hips. Hugging the knees in toward the chest. You can rock from side to side, or drawing the knees in and out, make small circles with the low back. And reverse the circles. If you'd like one last twist, you can bring the arms out to shoulder height, knees together. Gently lowering the knees to the right, vision to the left. Softening through the spine. And with your next inhale, coming back to the center. Exhale, dropping the knees to the left, vision to the right. Softening through the spine. And with your next inhale, come back to the center. And then lower the feet down, extending into Shavasana. Covering up if you need to. Since I don't have my AirPods today, I'm going to go ahead and sit up so you can hear me okay, but you all go ahead and lay down. If you would like to have a bolster under your knees, please add that. Or if your low back is feeling achy at all, you can bend the knees, walk the feet to the edges of the mat, and rest your knees together. So once you're settled, tuck your shoulders back and down. If your knees aren't bent, allow the legs to rest about hip-width apart. Arms slightly away from your body with your palms turned up. Relax your forehead. Soften your eyes. Loosen your jaw. Gently bring your awareness back to the breath. Allowing each breath to fill you with a sense of peace and calm. Allowing each exhale to release anything that no longer serves you. Let the breath bring you back to your heart center, reconnecting with the light and joy that always resides deep within your heart. Let each breath fill your heart with loving kindness for yourself. Sending that loving kindness to each and every cell of your body. Honoring all of who you are in this moment. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. stretch in whatever way feels comfortable for you. When you're ready, you can gently bend your knees, roll to your side, and rest there for a moment. And then gently return to a seated position. We'll end with a blessing of loving kindness. Please feel free to join in. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings have peace. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. May all beings be free. The light in me honors the light in you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. For our world, for our communities, for ourselves. Thank you all so much for joining me today.